Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing a book unhaul. These have become somewhat more frequent on my channel, although to be honest, not that much more frequent because I do still buy a lot more books than I unhaul. However, I finally took down my book Christmas tree. The video where I made that with my cousin Lon is linked in the description down below. And because when you're building a book Christmas tree you need books of the same width or length in page numbers, my bookshelves got very jumbled, which was kind of a good thing because it gave me an excuse to go through all of my books, which are double shelved, and put the new books with their series and alphabetize them, and then go through and see what books I didn't want anymore. There aren't very many, but I do have a stack of about 10 to 15. 3 of them have already disappeared off into Savers or Goodwill. I'm not really sure where they took them, but these ones were in a stack that did not make it to the box in time. So we'll start with those 3. One of them is Nightwalker by Ken Follett, and there's 2 more by him. None of them are from the same series. I didn't pay full price for any of them, and I have not touched any of them in at least a year since I bought them. / packed them, really. I bought them at one of the bag sales from the Rochester Library, which are lovely. I adore those bag sales. But I realized I wasn't ever going to read them because the only reason I know of Ken Follett is because of Pillars of the Earth. I watched the TV show first. I didn't know it was a book. I have the book on that shelf. I haven't even read that yet, and I've had that one since college. So almost a decade, and I still haven't touched it. I do still really want to read Pillars of the Earth because I enjoyed the TV show quite a lot and I know the book will be better. But I don't really have that much interest or any interest in reading those other 3 Ken Follett books. So I got rid of them. Then we have the ones that are still here. The first one is, again, a bag sale book, Hitler, A Study in Tyranny by Alan Bullock. It says, this brilliant evaluation of Hitler is drawn entirely from the records of his own times. A celebrated historian has used every contemporary resource, including the secret archives of the Third Reich and the records of the Nuremberg trials, to produce this powerful, completely documented portrait in depth of the Nazi leader. Don't get me wrong, do I think it's important to remember our history? Yes, absolutely. Do I care enough to read a biography of Hitler? Let's see, when was this published? Hold on. I'll find it. I'm having difficulties flipping the pages, but I'll find it. There we go. Oh good. Published in the 50s? No. No, I don't. If I want to read a biography of Hitler, I'll read one that has a little bit more distance. And honestly, somebody else will enjoy this a lot more than I will because I'm never going to touch it. Next up is Life of Pi by Jan Martel. I have read this book. I listened to it on audiobook, and it was the dumbest thing I think I have possibly ever read. Apparently it has something to do with philosophy, and nobody fucking mentions that it has anything to do with philosophy. So I go into this expecting a lovely, fun story about this kid and a tiger in a boat on the Pacific who survive. No, there's some philosophical, nonsensical bullshit on this that I don't understand because I don't care about philosophy. If I want to read philosophy, I'll go read fucking Plato or Thomas More, both of whom I have and have read, by the way, and they make more sense than this. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I'm never gonna touch this again. I will never watch the movie in my life unless somebody is holding a gun to my head. So, I mean, if I've been kidnapped and I tell you that I'm watching Life of Pi, it's a good indication I'm not okay. But I know that people adore this book for some godforsaken unknown reason. Somebody is definitely gonna enjoy this more than me. Next, Abby, Do Not Panic. Let me explain. I am getting rid of Queendom of the Seven Lakes by A.B. Endicott. I'm getting rid of this because there's a very specific reason. I have the bind-up of the Queendom and the Kingdom, so I just have them both in one book. And I did really enjoy this book. I give it a 4. Abby from Autumn of Pelennor gives it a 5. It is one of her absolute favorite series, along with the Pelennor series by Alison Croghan. But, whole other thing. So, loved this. I do have the bind-up though, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me to keep a single book when I already have both. And then somebody else can discover this gem and realize that it's a really excellent series and enjoy it as well. On that topic, I forgot Binti by Nnedi Okorafor, which I don't think is in this stack. I am also getting rid of because I have the bind of the 3 Binti novellas. I thought I had already got rid of the first one, I hadn't, so that did go in the pile because again, I really enjoyed Binti. But I have the bind up, and it makes more sense to get rid of some doubles. I will not say all because I have 2 sets of Nevernight, 2 sets of the Poppy War, and I will, come February, have 4 sets of Graceling because I have a problem. But that's not the point. Point is, I can have somebody else enjoy it. Continuing. I have had Game of Thrones on my shelves. I think I've had these 3 on my shelves for, I don't know, one of my friends had moved into her pre-condo apartment. So, I don't know, 6-7 years. I've read the first one, I've read Game of Thrones. The writing was not great. The characters were overly complicated and two-dimensional. I have no real desire to watch the show unless I go and watch the Natalie Dormer episodes, which would be the absolute only reason I would ever go and watch that show because I don't care enough. The writing was bad enough and there was way too many characters in this. It would be like reading Outlander again, and we all know how that's going. So, why the hell would I keep these? You know, they take up a crap ton of room. These things are chunky fuckers. So instead, I'm going to get rid of them to somebody who, I don't know, maybe actually enjoys this shit. I'm a little judgmental in some of my unhauls, mostly when it's books I didn't enjoy or don't understand the appeal of. Again, there are 2 in this unhaul that I'm getting rid of simply because I have a bind up, and because they're shorter books, I prefer a bind up. It just makes me feel more accomplished, which is a weird thing, but we're not going to delve into that either. The last books I'm getting rid of are whatever this is, Legacy of the King's Pirates by M.L. Tyndall. These are Christian fiction, and if you don't know how I feel about Christian fiction, I will link you to the video where I talk about what I mean by hitting me over the head with an anvil, and sort of my history with Christian fiction. Because I did a whole video on that, I mention it often enough. I read these in 8th grade with my friend Katie, and at the time they were the steamiest thing. And when I say steamy, I mean like he sees her in a nightgown. There's nothing more. Because Christian fiction, oh my god, premarital sex will ruin the world! Obviously. I'm being really dramatic today. That's fun. Moving on. Christian fiction, woman gets kidnapped by pirates, I think. Again, they were super cute and very exciting and dramatic to sheltered, naive, 14-year-old Kari. But I haven't touched them since 9th grade, other than to get them when Katie got rid of them sometime in high school. And while they're fun books, I think M.L. Tyndall is actually one of the better, more enjoyable Christian fiction writers that I've read. If I haven't touched them, and if I'm never going to touch them, because if I want an actual romance, I'm gonna go read a fucking romance book. Which I've done recently. Somebody else will enjoy these so much more than me, and if there's no reason to hang on to them if all I'm doing is hanging on to them, because I remember Katie and I dancing around our 8th grade English teacher's class. No, my 8th grade teacher's English class. She was in the other English class. Dancing around the English teacher's class, reading one of the, again, scandalous scenes in this series. Is there a nostalgic connection? Yes. Is that enough to keep these books moldering on my shelves? No. Those are the books I am getting rid of. Again, there's a couple in here that I've read, I enjoyed. I just have another copy that I like better. The rest of them, though, can just be thrown off the deep end, and I'm sure somebody out there will find them and absolutely love them, and that's amazing. They're just not my books. That's all I have. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!